Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
Doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I am, we got started quite late. We've had quite a few technical difficulties, but we are on the path ready to go. So I'm doing good now.
Good.
I'm doing good. We got a good, fun show ahead of us here today.
Yes, we do. Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about. This is the typical time of year where baseball's in the middle of the season. Football has not started, not even anything. Basketball is over. So any possible story could come out. Like what?
Yeah.
What can we make a story out of? Let's make a story out of something.
Yeah, we can always find stuff.
And I'm pretty sure that the world found a story in a contract that blew up over the last couple of days. So we'll talk about Mr. Kyler Murray. Also, what perfect time to be able to talk big time wrestling.
Yep. Always one of my favorite things on this podcast is when we get into wrestling talk, and we've got quite a bit to talk about there.
Absolutely. Can't wait for that. And then obviously we've got some other things, but to start off the podcast, as we do, as we have for quite a while now, we start with our Reese's. Found something a little different. Here we go. Today we're going with the unwrapped Reese's Minis. And I'm talking the minis. These aren't so we still have the availability for the small cup.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing that you get, when you go to door to door for Halloween. Mm-hmm. We still have the availability for those. These are even smaller than those.
I see. Almost like gummy bears or something size, maybe something like that.
I've never had these. Have you had these?
I've not.
So these are in a bag. Oh, they are tiny, and there is a lot. This is going to be good.
Okay, so while we're doing this, I've got to tell you something. A Reese's experience that I just had yesterday. I'm at work, and I bought a 6-pack of the big cups at the store the other day.
The extra kings or the super king, I think they call it.
Oh, okay. Is that like the you mean like the pack, or is that what you mean?
It's like Reese's. It's the individual sleeve. There's 2 in a sleeve. If you get the king size, there's 4. But now they have a super king that's 6.
Oh, okay. This is just like 6 big cups individually wrapped in a package.
Big cups. Sorry.
Big cups. So I grab one to take to work with me. I have it afternoon snack.
Mm-hmm.
I open the big cup, and I noticed, so you have the outside orange wrapper, but then on the Reese's cups, you have the black paper.
I know what you're about to say. Yes.
10.
Was there 10? I've had a 10 plus.
Really?
Multiple times.
I think I've had a couple.
Only on the big cups.
Really?
Only on the big cups. I wax paper or whatever they put around it.
I pulled them off, and I've carefully took each one out and count them 10 of those wrappers. Now, at the factory, is that an accident? Is that a malfunction of a machine? Is that somebody playing a joke? Is that somebody getting lazy? Is that somebody?
I would say maybe the joke could be there, but I've had it happen multiple times on the big cups. So I'm going to say this is a malfunction on a new product that they just don't have. They don't have 100% down yet.
Okay. I can see that. I can also see somebody just doing the same thing over and over and over again, and just not paying attention after a while. Just grab a little stack of them instead of one. If you're trying to go fast, I'm acting like they're individually.
They're individually taking each.
There's no way.
Reese cup.
There's a machine that does it, and I think you're exactly right.
Yep. I like that. That's good though.
I don't know. It was kind of a fun little thing that I had my own little party there. My desk?
Yeah, counting out your Reese cup paper, wax papers.
Yeah.
What's your first impression of these bad boys?
That they don't taste like peanut butter cups.
Mm-mm. A lot of chocolate.
Yeah,
way too much chocolate. We were talking the other day how the peanut butter lovers was because the peanut butter was different. There's too much peanut butter to this. Too much chocolate, not enough Reese's peanut butter.
I agree with you.
Not bad. I'm eating them.
Yeah, me
I'll
too.
eat this entire bag.
For sure. Yeah, these are almost like Hershey's Kisses or something. With a little tiny hint of peanut butter. Little tiny hint.
Yeah.
By the way,
Hershey's Kisses.
if you're Hershey's, you've put a bunch of other stuff in there. How have you not done peanut butter yet in a Hershey's Kiss?
That is such a good question.
Hershey's owns Reese's.
Oh, well, that might be why. They may not want to compete against themselves.
Are you competing against yourself?
I mean, they're not going to beat Reese's peanut butter, so it's not going to be any good.
Well, put Reese's peanut butter in the Kiss. Now they would probably be more like this because they're not.
Yeah,
they're not very big, but they'd be probably kind of similar to the miniature Reese's cup, not the little tiny ones like this, but the ones you were talking about,
right?
That you get like during Halloween, or you get a bag of them or something.
And they are actually individually wrapped in foil,
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, what are you rating this?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm go 9.2. Not my favorite, but not the worst.
9.2.
Yeah.
Okay. Real good still.
It's still Reese's.
Sure.
And I'm gonna eat this entire bag. So.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Well, then I'll go. I'm gonna go 8.7. 8.7, 8.8 in there.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Good thing that's a good number.
Still pretty good. So, all right. Look, that was nice and simple. Reese's, you did a nice job again.
100%.
These are, especially compared to the big cup that I just ate 2 of today.
It's a nice little something different to throw you up.
It's a little something different. It's not.
So we
it's not
both
as
had
good,
Reese's today
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
I had 2 outrageous bars.
Good, man. I had 2 big cups.
There you go.
Yep. That's why we get along so well.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Anything else going on? Anything else going on in your world?
No, just doing basketball stuff and living life, man. Living life.
How'd you guys do today?
Trying to survive. We in the basketball game that I played, we play 3 games of 15 against the same team in this 3-on-3 league. Lost the first one by 3, maybe. Won the second one. Lost the third one. We were down. Played at 15. We were down 14 to. No, we're down 13 to 6, I think.
Whoa.
Tied it at 14.
Whoa.
After I came out of the game, I subbed myself out late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
My team went on a 6-0 run. I was like, well, should have done that earlier.
I've seen the guys that are on your team. It's not like it's anything. I don't know. Maybe there's definitely a size difference when you come out of the game. There's no doubt about that. And it's in both ways.
Yeah. I had my best game in the second game. That was the game we won. Hit a few threes, but third game, I couldn't have played worse. Just was everything. Couldn't do anything.
Is it because you're tired? Like we're getting old.
Big part of it.
Is it just that your body can't do that long anymore?
Yeah, and
you're not gonna find a way to take a break when you're on the court. You're pretty well out there motor running. Like if I'm playing a rec basketball league, I'm finding a lot of time to stand around and catch my breath.
Yeah, 3-on-3 makes it. It's on a small court, but it's so much more. It's spread out, and you're more involved because there's only 3 players. So
right,
you can have a pick and roll on one side and try to be a shooter on the weak side wing or something, but it's not. As soon as that breaks down, you got to go.
You got to go cut. You're cutting back in the middle or running to the other side for another screen or whatever.
And there's not much rest on defense either. So, so it is very tiring. It is a gym that does not have air conditioning.
Where do you guys play?
St. Teresa.
Oh, do you guys play 4 different games at a time, or
we play 2?
So it's half court.
It's half court.
Okay.
Yeah. Games going on either end. And yeah, It's a fun time, but ours is I think, second oldest team in the league now. I was the youngest player probably 16 years ago or something like that when I started playing in this league. I was the youngest player in that league.
This is
And
where
now I
Coach
am-
Chris Mack came out and threw some basketballs up with you at one point in time back in the day.
This was same place, different day.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like pick up on Sunday night that we were doing.
Gotcha.
But a lot of the same guys kind of. So yeah. But anyway, it was fun. It was fun, except when I wasn't playing well and we were losing. But we competed with a pretty good team, and that was it.
There you go.
And then we went and coached a little bit, had a little workout for a few girls, and that was it.
Good to go. All right. On that note, let's get to talk about a little bit of what did we say we're going to talk about first? We're going to talk football. Let's talk football. We don't do a ton of football. So we have conversations on this podcast all the time about players and about off the field things that players do and attitudes of players and how it gets on our nerves or in the way it affects teams. Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals have had all kinds of issues trying to get a contract signed.
Mhm.
He unfollowed the Arizona Cardinals on Twitter, typical, Gen Z millennial type move, right? And that was a big deal when that happened. But they got the deal done. $230 million, 160 guaranteed over, I can't remember how many years.
It's like I think 2028 is the last.
So 6 years. Okay. Oh, well, that'd be 5 years
5, I think,
starting for next year. All right. However, as of yesterday or day before, a little piece of knowledge came out about some inside information on a clause in the contract.
Mhm.
Kyler Murray's contract can be voided if he does not do 4 hours of independent film study every week during the season. First thoughts on this?
Apparently, this is the first time. There have been a lot of funny clauses, but apparently never one for film to force a guy to study film. Obviously, first thing you think of is the quarterback on the football team, the starting quarterback, would probably normally be the person that watches more film than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard athletes in other sports say before, like, man, I hardly ever, especially older players, I hardly ever watched film. I prepared myself. I did what I needed to do. I knew I got the scouting report or whatever. I didn't watch a ton of film. Not everybody does, but in 2022 in the NFL, you're a starting quarterback. You have to spend a lot of time in the film room or preparing to play, being
Somehow.
prepared. And this certainly tells you that Kyler Murray does not do that. And specifics, it says specifically things like, and he gets credit. So he gets credit. I don't know how they're going to, I don't know if he is going to have to do it in this. I would think he's going to have to do it at the facility.
He has to do it at the facility. Absolutely. It's going to be extra time at the facility.
Because he only gets credit if he's not on his phone. If it says video games, apparently he's a big video game guy.
He's on like one of these video game teams. They have like these clubs or teams and they like do these tournaments or whatever. He's on one. Phase
Okay.
I can't remember what it is.
There you go. So they specifically have things in there about he has to be focused on the video. He can't be watching movies. He can't be looking at his phone. So it's really eye-opening to hear that they have to make it part of his contract to get him to fully prepare for games.
This makes him the second highest paid quarterback too, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, behind like Aaron Rodgers or something like that.
Is it because are you willing to do that because you're the Arizona Cardinals?
It's hard to find a franchise quarterback. Can Kyler Murray be a franchise quarterback? I don't know, but is he really good? Sure, he's got a lot of good attributes. However, Tom Brady wasn't the most athletic human being in the world.
Mm-mm.
Peyton Manning, look at him, was never the most athletic human being in the world.
Nope.
Drew Brees, not the most athletic human being in the world. All of these guys they're athletes. Don't get me wrong in any way, shape, or form, but they're not Kyler Murray athletes. Kyler Murray is a freak of an athlete.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's something to film study when you hear that these guys are the first ones there, last ones to leave, that whole kind of deal. And they're the ones that have thrown for more yards than anybody, and they've got every record. You're talking about those three. They hold everything there is. If you are a teammate of Kyler Murray's, let me scratch that. We'll get back to that. If you're Kyler Murray, how do you feel about this?
I just signed a contract that's going to pay me a guaranteed $160 million.
You just signed a contract, guaranteed $160 million, but are you upset that this got out? Are you now back upset with the Arizona Cardinals thinking, oh, is this their way of really putting pressure on me, thinking that they're going to bully me into this, and now they're going to tell the world about this stupid clause that they put in my contract? And is that's the first thing I thought of.
I don't know
Who
if he
leaked
is.
this.
Yeah, I don't know if he is or not, but I would be embarrassed for sure.
You've got to be embarrassed, at least embarrassed.
But some people just flat out don't care.
Okay, what about teammates? You're still in that locker room with a whole bunch of dudes. All these guys, trust me, if they had to put it in his contract, they already know.
Mm-hmm.
They already know that this dude is out there working off his natural ability, and that's it.
Yeah.
That only gets you so far. Some people, it gets them really far.
Yep.
But it'll never make you the best. Never.
You're going to be very hard pressed to win a championship, which for most guys in the league, I'm sure that's their top goal. Win
Absolutely.
a championship. Who's probably the most important person on your team to help you win a championship? It's the quarterback on most teams. If you have to, I can't imagine being an owner, a general manager of or a coach that has a lot of, personnel power, being in charge of signing guys to contracts and signing a guy like that does not have the work ethic in that part. Maybe he's on the field throwing a million balls. Maybe he's in the weight room constantly,
Sure.
But if he can't, pick up blitzes and make reads, and if he can't be prepared that way, the game is, Yogi Berra said it. The game is 115% mental, 71% physical, and
50% mental, and 50% physical and 90% mental.
Yeah.
So I listened to Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max Kellerman show, which actually had Harry Douglas on it instead of Keyshawn, who is an ex-football player. And there was some interesting things said. This is where I first heard it. So they started talking about, all right, two things. Number one, you hear about players like this all the time. Like, there are players that are known for just going out there, not going through the motions, but just being freak athletes. You ever heard of one leading a team to a championship? Can you think of anybody who might have been that kind of guy that led the team to a championship? Closest thing they could come up with, which I thought was a phenomenal answer, Allen Iverson. Mm-hmm. He took a team playing one of the best teams of all time with Kobe and Shaq, and actually won a game during it when he didn't have much outside of himself. Maybe a young Andre Iguodala.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Aaron McKee, Eric Snow.
Yeah. Bunch of studs.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, bunch of
Tyrone
an
Hill.
old Dikembe Mutombo, an old Tyrone Hill. Well, Tyrone Hill was Tyrone Hill. So that's just because I know
Tyrone Hill was old in college.
Yes. But that's the point, right? So, practice. We're talking about practice. Obviously, that's the same mentality. It's the same mentality. I just can't get it. The other thing they were talking about that I kind of like the idea of. So this dude's a big gamer, right? You got to put the clause in there. Can't be playing games while he's doing. Can't be doing all this stuff. Madden apparently was originally the way that it was thought of to be made was going to be like something to help teams get ready for games, right? It's supposed to be a tool like that. Now you can only make things so close before it just doesn't work like that, and it becomes a game and becomes what it is now. As a game, I mean, they got guys. Madden has people at in every facility rating these players, watching players, giving them, the difference between a 96 and a 98 in speed, or, different attributes that they give all these players. Would it be worth it to throw $20-30 million at a somebody like an EA Sports or somebody that makes Madden, something like that, to try to make it even more directed towards just the Arizona Cardinals, make it more directed towards make it to where they can put in the other team's tendencies and things like that, so he could play the game and see the things that were going on. And now playing the game is almost like watching film.
I don't know how you do that. I mean, I don't know how they make the games anyway, but it's so, everything can change in real time. They're going to make adjustments during games. There's no way a video game can prepare you for that. But yeah, I don't know. Film is captured real life. I don't know how you
can see you pick up on tendencies. You see a defender with two hands in the ground compared to one hand in the ground, or the way he's leaning, and know if he's blitzing or dropping back in coverage just by looking at his tendencies that he doesn't even know he's doing, but that you see.
Can you generate that using guys wearing full body green suits with ping pong balls on them?
I don't think it's quite. I think it gets more in depth than that. Outside of the ping pong ball gig, the black body suits.
Yeah. How do you get that job anyway? I want to be one of those guys.
I would love to be one of those guys.
I want to be. Let's make a baseball game where we're the guys
doing the ping pong ball suits.
Yeah.
I wonder how you would get into that. That would be so much fun.
I know they use the real athletes in a lot of cases, but I can't imagine every single guy comes in.
No, not all of them. They just do a few of them, and they get some athletic moves, and then they work off of that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is just something that really intrigued me. If I'm the Arizona Cardinals, if I'm a fan of the Arizona Cardinals, this is something that would make me worried about him all the time. And I just cannot see somebody like that succeeding. And that's a lot of money to give somebody that isn't going to succeed.
Right. Speaking of that, how long do you give it until he misses a week where he doesn't do? And by the way, this is in addition to whatever they do in team meetings.
Yes, this is independent. This is outside of team meetings, outside of team film, all of that.
I think from what I understand,
4 hours a week is not that much.
It's not. Yeah. I mean,
they put a lot of time in. These dudes put a lot of time in to what they do, to their craft. But I'm going to give you $160 million. You have to promise me 4 extra hours a week. 4. That's all I ask. Tom Brady gives his team 16 extra hours a week. I'm asking for 4 extra hours a week.
If you can't handle that, then yes, your contract should be null and void, and it should and you don't deserve the money that you signed for if you can't make it your life's work. I mean, that's what you do. It's sure you might have a family, and that's great. Don't stay at the facility all day and all night and sleep there. Go home and be with your family. But if you practice for 2 hours on a Tuesday, stay for an hour and a half and watch and find specific things you want to watch film. That's if you kind of focus on that, I imagine that time is going to fly by. You could probably do 2 or 3 hours before you know it. And you're like,
normal person, somebody normal that loves the game, that loves what they're doing.
Sure.
You in basketball, if you became a basketball player and you were, how many guys are on an NBA bench? 13?
Yeah. It's around there.
Say there's 13 guys on an NBA team. So you are the 13th guy on the bench. You, as a human being that I know you to be, would work as hard or harder than every other person that's there. You would be the first because you love the game. Baseball, I'd be the same way.
Yeah.
There are some people that are just freak athletes and can do without all that, and it's not their passion. They just are able to make a ton of money doing it, and they chose to do that so they can make their money, but they don't have the passion.
Yeah.
You are begging for passion from somebody.
I just can't imagine having to ask your quarterback. Just can't do it.
Absolutely insane to me.
Can't do it.
Absolutely insane.
How much time you think Joe Burrow spends in the film room on his own?
A week.
Sure.
I would say 3 extra hours a day, 5 days a week. I would say 15 extra hours minimum.
Wow.
Minimum. That's minimum. I mean, I don't know. I feel, it's hard. That's hard. Does he spend only 3 extra hours? I'm not saying that that's it. He also has extra hours throwing and extra hours doing other things, but I would say that he probably spends that much. The thing about a guy like Joe Burrow is he's like, I see him like a Tom Brady. I see him with game film at home. He gets home, he turns his TV on, and he's watching film while he's eating dinner. He's just going over it and over it and over it and over it.
Yeah, Chris Paul does that stuff.
Yeah,
he does. He's talked about that before on JJ Redick's podcast. Jamal Crawford's like that too. They'll be at the facility working out for 2 hours before practice, an hour and a half after practice, go home, spend another hour watching film at the facility, go home, watch every single game on League Pass in a night, and then get up in the morning, at 5 in, go do it, watch some film again, go practice again. Yeah. That's
my thing is when you're making that much money to play a game and you have the ability to continue to sign contracts to make that much money again, more money, and you're that good at the most important position in the game, it should be easy for you to do all this. This should just be things shouldn't, I mean, obviously it's expected because it's never had to be put into a contract before. But to me, that's the other thing. Is this a precedent now set?
Could be.
Or is this just another one of those, you got a guy who likes to ride motorcycles, guess what? You're not riding motorcycles for the next 4 years kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know you like to play pickup basketball on the side. No pickup basketball.
Aaron Boone. He messed his knee up or something playing.
Apparently the Reds put that in every single contract.
Is that right?
Yeah, I've heard that. I know for a fact that it was in somebody's contract because somebody showed up at a gym over on the west side with a couple other players and made sure that nobody pulled a phone out to take a picture or anything like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to hear that story.
Yeah. I'll tell you off air because I ain't trying to throw nobody under the bus.
How long ago was this? Can you tell me that?
Long enough to where one of the 4 players still plays for the Reds.
All right. Yeah, that man, it's just so weird. And I would think that starts in the draft process. The draft is like they go through all those silly tests and everything in the combines. And
this is what those silly things are for.
Right.
This is what those silly things are for.
You find out what kind of, you find out about a guy's character, his work ethic, all that kind of stuff, because that stuff is just as or more important than your physical ability.
100%.
And I just don't imagine, I just can't understand, number one, even using a pick, a top pick on a guy like that, and then signing him to a long-term contract, the richest contract in the NFL. Yeah. And he's not willing to, he wants, sure, everybody wants to be doing something fun. And especially the later you get into the season, I'm sure a lot of guys do not feel like doing doing the same grind over and over every week and spending that much time on football. I get it. Even as much as I love basketball, I'm sure I would feel that way. But
this is their job. This is your job.
and you have that next game to prepare for. You've got to be focused on that next game because it's the most important game of your life. And
you're playing for every game you're playing for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Every single game you are playing for that next contract. Every game. I don't care if you just signed a 6-year deal. You're still playing for your next contract.
So do you think he hits the 4-hour mark every week and stops?
Oh, I think there's going to be quite a few. If he's the kind of guy that they're making him out to be right now, 100%. He's going to clock in and go 4 hours and 4 seconds and be, God daggone it, I didn't need to watch that last 4 seconds of that play. That play took way too long.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's amazing that guy is going to make that much money,
and they obviously don't trust him.
Obviously don't trust him.
So difficult.
Bring Carson Palmer out of retirement.
You know who else I don't trust? I don't trust Vince McMahon to tell me the truth.
I mean, Kyler Murray would rather play video games than watch film. That is an angel compared to what Vince McMahon apparently is.
Can we go? So I don't know all this. I don't know the whole story. So you told me yesterday when we started talking about the show, we do our little, couple minutes talking about what we're going to do for prep or whatever. And you're telling me
we spent it's a 4-hour meeting.
It's a 4-hour meeting every two. We put 4 hours of independent study in every week for this podcast.
Show prep.
So that being said, you told me that Vince McMahon has retired or no, what was the word you used? He resigned. It's a big difference.
I think I was wrong. I think you're right. I said resign. He retired.
So Vince McMahon retired. So to me, I'm like, okay, yep. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is just, come on, Adam. He's been fired a million times. He's, lost the company to his son and his daughter and all this other crazy stuff. It's all for show. This is not. And if you do watch wrestling, he has not been on in a very long time.
Apparently he came out on Raw a couple of days ago and addressed it, and SmackDown, I believe. And yeah, this is not a storyline. This is the real thing. And apparently it's because now he's 76 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it's timed like this. He didn't want to retire. He was not ready to retire. But there have been so many accusations, and it doesn't seem like they're at the forefront of the news when these things happen, but there is a long list of things that former employees have complained about and have claimed that he does that makes him just
come on. I want to hear what they are. I don't know what they are.
The biggest thing right now is he is now under investigation for and it's I think the government is getting involved because there's tax stuff involved.
Oh, so this isn't good. That's $1 billion industry.
It's a money thing. So there's apparently like $14 million that he spent that's not accounted for. And the belief is that is money that he paid out hush money for former employee or employees. I
yeah,
believe.
But even when you have that hush money or you sign a NDA, non-disclosure agreement or whatever, even when you have those, that money is usually still, I mean, it's written for what it's for. I mean, it's taken out of taxes and everything for what it's for. So
right.
If he had them sign a document with a lawyer, that stuff is usually all
and apparently
done copacetic.
So they have to go back and redo their books for the last 3 years because that money is basically not accounted for. So, and so the WWE has a board, a governing board.
Sure.
And it's a publicly traded company, I believe. So,
really,
this has a lot. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
you can buy stock. He's the main stockholder or whatever. But I'm pretty sure that's the case. Because I've heard people say, I think I heard somebody say that the stock went way up when they heard Vince McMahon was leaving, which
that doesn't make sense to me because he's the brains behind what has turned wrestling into what it is now.
And there's also speculation that sometime in the next year, it may be sold. So now Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan, I think is his name, are co-CEOs now, replacing Vince McMahon. And also, depending on where you get the story, Vince McMahon is temporarily, while this investigation is going on, is temporarily retired until it all clears up.
That makes more sense.
So I don't, but some people are saying he's retired, he's done. This is, because of that, everything's going to change. They're going to sell the company and all that kind of stuff. I kind of don't, because Stephanie McMahon is so involved and she is now the new CEO. I don't imagine it's going to be sold to anybody but her or a McMahon.
Sure, yeah.
It's going to stay in the family.
Triple H and her will buy it. And
he took it over from his dad. It's
right.
The WWF was owned for a long time. He took over in 82. It's been 40 years that he's been the CEO of this company. He's been the storyline guy. And apparently, so they
what
have.
Do you mean storyline guy?
A staff of writers. They have write storylines
for what?
For the shows, for Raw, for everything that happens in wrestling.
What do you mean they write it?
Well, anything aside from all the stuff like when guys are mad at each other, then they come out and
well, that's written. So the promos are written, but the fights, I mean, they don't.
Whoever doesn't like each other in the locker room, they just go out and they give them microphones and whatever they want to say to each other, that's what they say, and they fight, and then sometimes their friends come out and help them.
So what's the storyline guy? What's that for?
It's just like you said, the promos and that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
They just help them
because because you get big meatheads talking.
Brock Lesnar out there who doesn't have an ounce of brain. And
wow,
and
I heard Brock Lesnar was like this is not a joke. Was like a 4.0 student at Iowa. Was incredibly intelligent. I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. I'm being 100% serious right now. I was kidding about the storyline stuff. Obviously, that was a joke. Yeah. I'm dead serious about Brock Lesnar. I heard this dude is he's incredibly intelligent.
I'm only going by every single time I've ever seen him open his mouth. I'm only going by that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stand that guy. But I mean, he was
so you mean the storyline guys did a good job?
I guess.
When have you ever heard him talk outside of WWE?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear him talk out? I mean, in UFC, did he?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's a cocky little fellow, but he could be cocky because he's a monster.
I guess. Anyway. Oh, and apparently he is loyal to a similar kind of guy, because when Vince McMahon retired, Brock Lesnar said, "I'm out of here. If he's not going to be around, I'm not going to be around."
Wow.
So what looks like loyalty makes him kind of look bad again, because
he's loyal to a scumbag.
He's loyal to a scumbag.
And we all knew Vince McMahon was a scumbag from as long as if you've watched Dark Side of the Ring, everyone knows Vince McMahon's a scumbag.
Wrestlers, former employees have all talked about stuff that he does. Apparently in meetings, he is just absolutely awful the way he speaks to people. He uses terms that are not acceptable to use anymore. They have to, people that are taking notes, that are taking the meeting minutes, have to edit. They know when he says certain things, they're not allowed to write that down. Everything else, they're supposed to write everything down. They know when he uses slurs or or mistreats people in the room, they're not supposed to write that stuff down. And this, apparently it was just 3 years ago that he had an affair with an employee, and I guess it happened once or twice, and then that person was no longer wanted anything to do with that, and I think he fired that person because she didn't want to do that anymore, and then paid her $12 million or something like that to not take it. Not take it public.
Sign an agreement that you won't that you won't. You look, here's the deal. What I did was wrong, but I'm going to give you $12 million. You say something about this, I'm coming after your money and all kinds of other stuff.
So he's having affairs with employees in his 70s.
I mean, is he married still?
I think so. Old Linda is
She's still around? I can't remember.
I think it was Linda.
I mean, Stephanie, you guys all know who he is. It's Vince McMahon.
I know.
This is setting up perfect for the next Dark Side of the Ring season. I cannot wait. I love that. I love that documentary.
It is going to be interesting to see what happens here. If it's true that he's just going to kind of step into the shadows, and then until this all washes away, it might be a year or something like that. But then maybe he comes back. But we're talking he's going to be in his late 70s soon. And how much longer do you do it? I guess if you can sit behind. That's the other thing is employees.
He's in great shape.
Yeah. Employees have talked recently though about his like kind of his lack of caring. Like he's not really he forgets a lot of stuff that they've done.
Sure.
And so he like wants to repeat things all the time. And they tell him like, we've done that. We did that 3 weeks ago, that very same match. And he's like, so what? Do it again. And like, he doesn't care as much anymore about doing like the best thing. And he's forgetting a lot.
He just wants his way now. It's not, I mean, it's always been that way,
Right.
But he also had an incredible mind to make the storylines work.
He basically did what Dana White did for MMA. I mean, he built it into an incredibly popular sport. And I mean, he's a billionaire. He's made several millionaires. I mean, we were so deep into it when we were kids, and then again as teenagers.
Yep.
And in our 20s and stuff.
I still watch it every now and then with my son.
That's true. That's right.
Not as much anymore. He's not as deep into it as he was.
Okay. Are you happy about that?
I still watch it every now and then.
Okay, whether he does or not.
Yeah, I get on that. Dude, I'm telling you, like, I'm not a social media guy, but the chat snap.
Oh, thank you.
The chat snap has these little, like, it takes like news and just all kinds of stuff and breaks them down. So they do like Raw, and it's like 4 minutes, and it shows you the top 10 things that happened on Raw, or, it's, 3 minutes of little, 10-second clips, and it shows you the main things that happen on SmackDown or NXT. I love that. I watch them all. I watch them almost every day. So I'm 100%. Rey Mysterio Jr. just had his 20 years in professional wrestling, and then he got beat up by the whatever the new scary looking people are that became a group, and they're just they all dress in black. They've done that 3 or 4
Bushwhackers.
No,
Legion of Doom.
No, this is like you remember when
Natural Disasters?
No. When Gangrel and Christian and Edge, and they all had that, whatever that was. This is the Brood. This is just like another, dark, mysterious group. And they, a couple of the really good wrestlers have been overtaken by it, and now they're all part of it. And they just go around and beat everybody up.
Yeah.
They just go beat everybody up.
Huh.
We're taking over. That
Okay.
kind of thing. So they beat up Rey Mysterio and his daughter and his son.
Okay. Wow.
His son gets beat up every week.
How old is the son?
I don't know. 22, 23. He wrestled. They won a tag team match together.
How old is his daughter that got beat up?
Oh, she's probably about the same. She's in her 20s somewhere.
Okay. So she's a wrestler too?
Oh no, she was just so happened to be there, and
Oh, okay.
some other person beat her up.
She's a regular lady, and so they beat her up.
She's been on for a while. She fell in love with somebody at one point.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They've used all of the Mysterio family here lately.
Remember when Stephanie McMahon? Never mind. Interesting, man.
That's see, once again, scumbag. He wrote the storylines back then. He wrote his daughter to be doing some things. That's messed up.
some things.
I mean, some of the things he didn't obviously write, but
I mean, I'm sure he was totally fine with
he did not care. I
once she was-
guarantee it.
Yeah, I mean, yep.
Guarantee it.
I wonder. Oh, and then what did I hear? Something about Triple H now. He's taken over. I mean, he's been like one of the executives now for a while. But,
Right.
apparently, he's taken over something else now or something. I shouldn't have even brought it up because I can't
The
remember the
NXT
details now.
side of it, is he in charge of the NXT side?
Maybe
That's the new people, as the
like the minor league kind of thing.
Yeah,
The G League.
basically.
I can't remember what it was, but anyway, I guess he's stepping into a different role or something, or maybe it's a promotion, maybe it's a lateral move. I don't know, but Hunter Hearst Helmsley is doing something else.
Good old Hunter.
Are they, is he married to Stephanie? Are they married?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
My sister's calling me at 11:40 at night. What do you think she's calling for? Should we throw her on?
Answer. Yeah. Let's see.
Hold on.
See what's up.
Hey, hold on just 1 second, all right? First off, is everything okay? Yeah. All right. Can you hear me? That didn't work. I tried to put you onto the podcast, but it didn't work. All right, so go ahead. You're in the middle of the podcast. Melinda Whitt has joined the podcast. What's going on?
No. I don't want to do that.
Why not?
Hey, Melinda.
I just want to know if I can borrow your truck tomorrow.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Not during the
Anytime.
day. During the day, I'm gonna have to say no. I apologize.
No, it's okay. I just need to take a trip to Rumpke. We got a whole bunch of garbage in the house. We need to get out.
Can I give it to you at the end of the day?
Yes.
Call my dad. Use his truck.
Did you hear that?
Putting garbage in.
She's putting garbage.
Garbage.
So it's okay to put garbage in my truck, but not Adam's dad's truck that's 20 years old.
You're putting it in the bed, right?
You're not putting it in the cab, are you?
No.
Oh, well, you're good. He's got a liner. He's got a bed liner in there. He's about to sell that thing anyway. Beat it up.
He's a busy man. I can't.
No, he's not. He's retired.
Well, maybe I'll let you bring it up to him, and if he
There
calls
it
me,
is.
I'll just sit around and wait.
You can use my truck when I get home. I may not be home till late. I got a lot of stuff I have to do. We leave for vacation Friday, so I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, but you can have it when I'm done.
All right. Well, just let me know, or you can just talk to your dad.
I'll text.
The podcast.
I'll
or
text him. He's
whatever.
probably still up now. I'll text him either when I leave here or in the morning, and I'll let him know that you're looking for a truck.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey,
Love you.
thanks for joining the podcast.
Of course, anytime.
All right, don't forget to listen this week. You can hear yourself about 45 minutes into the podcast is when you came on.
I listen every week religiously. So,
So what did you think about the Reese's that we did last week?
I thought they were interesting. So it was good quality.
You can tell she
programming.
listens.
Yeah,
You can tell she listens. They
Yeah.
were interesting. You're
they
right.
were very interesting for a candy bar. It was interesting for a candy bar.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, have a great night. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Can't wait to talk to you next time.
All right. I'll make sure my lights are on.
Love you.
Bye. Oh,
The great Melinda. I almost called her Melinda Whitt.
I call her Melinda Whitt all the time. It's okay. She's Melinda Whitt. Melinda Gullett. Or on my phone, it says booger butt. Or as the
Sure.
British lady who talks to me on my phone, calls her Busier butt.
Okay. Busier. Okay.
Busier. Calling Busier butt on cell.
Who was your lady on your
You
phone?
don't make Siri. Oh, Siri talks to me in an English accent. I made Siri English. I also made the lady on Apple Maps that talks to me is also British. All my people are British. I love having British people on my phone.
You know what's weird? I don't like an accent.
No?
I don't like an accent.
Wow. So you don't like when I get into the James and do that for way too long and it goes way too overboard? I have literally used an accent one time for an entire weekend and never came out of it.
I know. I've heard James in a long time.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Good thing. It's hard for me right now not to start talking, but I'm not going to because I just found out that you do not like an accent.
I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe not all accents I'm not a fan of, but I don't know. There's just something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Some are kind of fun. It's fun to see a person that can impersonate an accent.
Okay,
That's
here we
really
go.
good
This
at
is
it.
this is such an Adam Schmidt
It
move
is.
right here. We're having all kinds of difficulties in our headphones. Okay, I think we got to fix, but it's totally an Adam Schmidt move to say something. I can't stand accents. Me say, oh, I do an accent all the time. I never knew you didn't like it. And go, well, I like when people impersonate accents.
No. That's fine. That does feel like a save, but
it's 100%.
but I was thinking about like people that are like Dan Soder and people that are like professional kind of that do that's like Dana
I got
Carvey. And,
You're
know.
talking about impressions, like the impressions
yes.
people. Right.
Yeah.
Dana Carvey's unbelievable at that.
He is. Dan Soder's even better, I think. So we went to
Dan Soder does at least one phenomenal.
Oh, I mean, his Macho Man is just second to none.
Second to none.
But he does a lot of really good. I mean, his Dave Chappelle, really good. His Dave Chappelle really good. Some people do Dave Chappelle, but he's got a good Chappelle. Yeah, he can do a lot of them. Anyway, God, I have watched every single second that has ever been recorded of him doing Macho Man Randy Savage.
So great.
I keep going back to
his
YouTube.
Facial expressions are
He even does the fingers.
There. Yep. it's pinpoint. Close, squint the eyes and everything.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Dan Soder, we do the comedy segment all the time. He's been on here before. Dan Soder, look it up. Macho Man impersonations, phenomenal.
Speaking of Dan Soder, I have something to ask you after the podcast relating to that. Please don't let me forget.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
I have something that I want to say to you. So next week I'll be on vacation. I'd like to do the podcast. This is going to be different. I don't know how hard that is. Let's just say you're about to say something. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
I was going to say it's going to be tough. You know how that goes. We're always either out to dinner or something's going on. I say I want to do it, and I'm not going to make a promise.
Don't even worry about it. But you are going to be gone.
I was just going to say it's going to be a 2-week hiatus.
2 week.
Do you know why it's a 2-week hiatus?
Why is that?
Because when I get back, I will be going to the Field of Dreams.
Holy smokes.
I will be going to the Reds v. Cubs, I believe.
Yeah.
In Iowa.
Boy, what an awful matchup to put on a nationally broadcast.
Reds and Cubs.
Wow, that was bad. I was thinking about that the other day. I saw a promo for it for that game. Oh my gosh, how do you pick Reds Cubs?
But two great lifetime organizations. Two baseball organizations. Two teams that have been around forever and have incredible history, just like the movie and what the movie brings out in that.
Sure, but the Field of Dreams game, if there's going to be one major league game there every year, I feel like it's got to be Red Sox Yankees. I feel like it's got to be Angels or Giants Dodgers.
I disagree. I feel like it needs to be whoever the White Sox are playing at that time. Yeah. I feel like the White Sox should be involved. Yeah, they were at the very first one. I feel like the Whites, this is one of those things. It's like, okay, well, Green Bay and Detroit and Chicago, those three teams will be playing either each other or somebody on Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. Those three teams play on Thanksgiving every single year. It's given. Detroit, Chicago, Green Bay, given that they're going to play. That being said, I feel like this Field of Dreams game, it would be really cool to just have the White Sox out there every time. That's the only team that was involved in that.
And they wear the old uniforms from the 1919 or whatever. Yeah.
And how great would it be that's the perfect game. That should have been the first game, was Reds and White Sox out there. Yeah. The 1919 World Series that was thrown by the White Sox was literally the Reds and the White Sox.
That one kind of makes sense. Maybe just make that the game every year. Just make that the game
Just
every
Reds,
year.
White Sox out in
'Cause
Iowa.
I
I
want to
mean,
go
that's
next year.
yeah, that's awesome for us, but fan base
Yeah.
wise. So apparently there was so I guess we never talked about this. Did we not talk about this?
I don't think so.
There was a lottery for people that live in Iowa
Oh,
only. And mom knew somebody there and asked them if they had already joined it. They said no and asked her to do it. And they apparently won. I have not seen the tickets yet. Dad has not physically seen the tickets yet. So we don't 100% know what is all going down or how this whole thing works. But we're told that we have 2 tickets for this game. And the game's on a Thursday. So we'll leave Wednesday morning. Make sure we get out there. Plenty of time. I don't want to get there the day of the game. I want to have that entire day to do whatever. So
yeah.
And then we'll probably leave Friday.
Nice. So that's that. So the game's on the 11th, I want to say.
It's the Thursday, whatever that Thursday is. I think the
Okay.
11th is right.
And you are on vacation starting. You're leaving,
Friday this week. We're leaving. I'm leaving
This
after work Friday this week.
and you're getting back
The 7th.
the 7th. The 7th.
8th,
That answers
9th,
my
10th.
question.
Boom.
Okay.
We'll be leaving on the 10th, which is Wednesday.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then that changes part of my thing that I have to talk to you about after the show,
All right.
but
Sounds good.
there's still part of it that I.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
I'd be happy to watch your dog.
that's super. Okay. So if we're going to talk about it on here, I was wondering if you could keep an eye on my dog while I'm gone on vacation.
Absolutely. Me and Hoover. I got him.
If you could keep an eye on Hoover, just feed him. I feed him 11 times a day.
Just throw one piece of food at him at
So
a
if
time.
you could, yeah. It's a whole system. There's the dry food, there's the wet food, and then you've got a treat in between, and then you've got and there are alarms that'll go off in the house.
I mean, is it just, but you used to do just certain bones with him, right? He can't have other bones. They mess with his stomach a little bit.
Yeah, only hippopotamus legs. He can only chew those bones, and because they're richer in vitamin E. And that's why, because he has a vitamin E deficiency, and the vet said that hippopotamus legs have a lot of vitamin E.
Where
in
do
the
you
bone
get
marrow.
hippopotamus legs?
I mean-
Hippopotamus bones. Can you get them like with the meat on them still?
No, they're just bones. There's sometimes you can get a little blood still on them.
Yeah.
And that's
Just
the
stain,
dog
just a stain.
just a little
Right.
stain, but the dog will smell that and he'll really get after it.
Yeah.
And you can get them. You have to usually go behind a PetSmart.
Mm.
And
Like
there'll
the
be
alley, like in the alley behind, or like behind the register?
behind the building.
Okay.
And there'll be a guy back there. Okay. And sometimes he's missing part of a limb, but he'll be back there. And you just tell him, there are code words and stuff for what you're looking for.
But you'll have they'll be there. I don't need to like go to him. You'll have the hippo bones ready at the house.
Yeah. Oh, I'm stocked up. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Got it.
So-
Got it.
Anyway, and that's just part of the whole thing. But I'll leave a list out for you. But if you could just stop over at 7 in the morning and let him out and feed, and then at 8:45 you stop back over.
Yeah.
And then if you could stop back over at 9:15,
That's the half hour. That's the
AM.
treat in between, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I got you. Yeah.
and then
Can I just hang out at the house? Do you care if I just
if you like, but I figure you have to go to work and stuff. Go make a sales call, go right back.
come right back?
Okay. So go do your thing. But every 45 minutes you gotta stop in.
Yeah, I'm in 100%. Does he play video games or board games at all?
No, I leave. He loves the movie Five Goes West. And I leave it on a loop all day long.
Okay.
All day long.
Let's pause from the goofy story. First off, tremendous job with the hippopotamus leg bone thing.
I
That was
thought that could have been better.
that was my favorite part.
Okay.
Until you decided to tell me the movie he watches, and you pulled out of the back of your cranium, Fightful Goes West. That was so well done. Oh my God. Fightful Goes West. So well done.
Anyway,
Speaking of board games,
you and yeah. I don't know where there was a board game in there, but Hoover's favorite board game is Mousetrap.
so let's just get right into it, unless you have something to get into before.
No, let's talk about.
So let's get right into it. What is your Mount Rushmore of board games?
Oh wow, just right into it, huh?
Oh, sorry. So last week we decided that
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you're right. The Mount Rushmore this week is board games. Now, I wrote down a little list here. All right, this was
Okay.
harder than I thought it was going to be.
this was harder. I feel like we've done this before because I remember some of these things, but I 100% guarantee that whatever we put on here is going to be different from what we originally said.
Yeah, I have not marked. And here's the thing: what are the rules here? You know, what's
That's
eligible?
what I got question marks next to Connect 4, next to Yahtzee, next to Don't Break the Ice. Are these board games?
Here's what I'm going to say. Yeah, it's all open except for card games.
Right.
are out.
Okay.
Anything you can play
Like-
on a table.
Okay. But no Uno, no
Right.
Solitaire.
I
That's
feel
not-
like those are card games. That's a separate thing. I feel like.
separate deal. Okay.
But almost everything else is open.
Do you remember the game? Because this is on. So I've got a list, but the one that's on my thing that I haven't, I didn't know the name of it, and I'm hoping you might know.
Kerplunk.
That's it. That's it. Did I say sticks or marbles or anything?
No.
You just knew it was Kerplunk?
Wait, are you serious?
I'm not kidding at all. I wrote the very bottom of this. I wrote sticks and marbles because I couldn't remember what it was. I was literally going to ask you what
Then
that
yes,
was.
it's called Kerplunk.
All right, Kerplunk. So that's
Wow.
one of my 5 or 4.
I almost wrote that down too, because we had that game and that was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's my favorite game.
I didn't write it down, and I'll tell you, I wrote down a little list and I didn't mark them. So
I don't
I'm
have
picking
marks
right now.
Yeah. Okay, let's
Picking
do it
right now.
All right, go ahead. Walk it off. Walk it off for me.
Number one, I'm going to go chess.
I didn't know you were a chess guy.
I'm not really, but it's I watched the Queen's Gambit twice,
No, you told
and I mean that really gives you a kind of an appreciation for it. And Joey Votto's a big chess guy,
Mm.
and no, I learned to play when I was a kid, and I don't remember how to play anymore.
You don't remember how to play
I don't.
one of your Mount Rushmore of board games.
That's correct.
That's
But
that is
it's
awesome.
but it's if you're really good at chess and you can think like several moves ahead, and if I do this here, and you know the names of each square on
That's the hard
thing.
part. I don't know the names of the squares like
the moves.
pawn to e5 or anything like that. I know how all the pieces move, but I don't know. Couldn't tell you the names of that stuff. And my brain does not think any farther than what my hand is doing in that moment.
Yeah,
So I am not
Right.
my dad used to love chess and he always wanted me to get into it and play it. No, not happening.
If I ever move to like New York or something, I'm gonna be one of those guys that play it in the park.
The speed chess.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
That's cool.
Speed chess. Another one, Scrabble.
Oh,
I know
God.
that can be boring.
So you have
but
2 of the
I'm-
most boring board games ever to start off.
This is adult Adams trying to pick these games. Kid Adam wouldn't even get close.
I'm so
wouldn't even be close.
confused then. Okay, let's continue.
But I like words. I wouldn't be good. I haven't played Scrabble in a million years, but I wouldn't be good at it.
I don't. So
But-
Mount Rushmore board games. First game, never played it. Don't know how to play it. Second game, haven't played it in a million years.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, let's get this. Yes, continue.
Is your arm okay?
What's wrong?
That thing, I think you told me about it, but that thing
Yeah,
just
yeah. I got a couple. Gashes. I had surgery here on my forearm to attach the forearm back to the bone. It rolled all the way up, and then this one over here was my my elbow tendon snapped. No, I was saving a dog from a pool.
That's right. That's right.
I was
what that
actually saving the liner of my pool from the dog is
Yeah.
what I was doing. And the dog smoked me.
That's right. You
Get a little
told me.
tan. When I get tan, they turn like deep brown.
They're
So,
dark. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I think they caught my eye. I got chess. I have Scrabble. I'm going, and this is why I'm kind of opening everything up here, is because I'm putting Crossfire on there, man.
Whoa.
I mean,
yes, Crossfire. Crossfire.
yeah.
Without a doubt. That's a good one.
I liked it a lot. We had it when I was a kid, and I liked it a bunch. I've got 4 more listed. Yeah, I've got 4 more listed, and man, it's just not easy. Monopoly would be on a lot of people's. You're, learning early on how to be a real estate mogul or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. I've got Candyland. We played a ton of Candyland when I was a
Mhm.
kid.
Candyland was big in your house.
Yeah. Checkers. Checkers is like Dum Dum's chess.
That's my now checkers. Now you can't beat me in checkers. I got you with checkers now.
I'm just kidding. Checkers is great.
It is dumb
Checkers is great.
chess. It's 100%. That's literally where the conversation comes from, or the saying comes from when somebody says he's playing chess and he's playing checkers.
I don't think at all it's for dumb people. I think chess is just for like people that are. That's why I don't play chess, because
Mhm.
it's just for people that are way smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Battleship is the one I'm really thinking about. I think I'm just going to go ahead and put Battleship on there, because we had Battleship 2 when I was growing up, and that was one that we played. And
Yep.
I'm putting chess, Scrabble, Crossfire, and Battleship. Why not?
I love it. Battleship's a good one. I had Battleship on the list of things. Hungry Hippos I had on there. I love that.
You guys had that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have it here in 2 different forms. One are hippos and one's like, I don't know, Svens or something from some Disney thing.
Yeah.
Monopoly, and they've done Monopoly into, you can get Monopoly for anything you've ever done. You can get Cincinnati Monopoly. You can get Star Wars Monopoly, blah, blah, blah. But
Ohio
Monopoly,
State football
Yep.
Monopoly.
the Game of Life, that was a big one in the Witt house for a long time. Like we played a ton of that. That and Yahtzee. I loved Yahtzee. Checkers, Mousetrap, Don't Break the Ice. Remember Don't Break the Ice?
Yeah.
That was a great one too. So that's some lists of things. And then from there, I'm going to go with Trouble, the game Trouble. Yep. Man, your mouth, you should have been a beatboxer or something.
Your dad would be great at the
Yep.
Trouble.
So Trouble was always a good one for me. I don't know. I already said this one, Kerplunk, the sticks and marble game. That was one of my all-time favorite games ever. So that's on my Mount Rushmore. We used to play a game that I loved growing up, and this is totally crazy because I am so far from a scholastic type person. Like school was just not my cup of tea. Unless it was something, it just wasn't. Except for recess, right, where you got to go hang out.
Gym.
Yeah. Gym was always good. But we had a game that we played for a long time called Go to the Head of the Class.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to like answer a math question, a science question. I think it was my mom's way of actually getting us to do some kind of work, but they had different levels, right? So like my sister was in 1st grade and I was like a junior in high school, well, 8th grade if she was in 1st, 7 years. And there would be different levels. They had like grade school, middle school, high school, and college questions, right? So whoever's playing is all even playing field. But Go to the Head of the Class, man, that was a huge one in my house. And then last but not least is the next one that became even bigger as I got older. And we played this more than any other game. Cranium.
Oh,
you remember Cranium? You could get a humdinger or you get a song. I had my buddy, Mike Little, was playing and he got a humdinger. I'll never forget it in my life. No idea what the song was. Let's just say it was, I don't know, Michael Jackson. Okay. And he went like this. No idea what he was doing. You could whistle or hum. He chose to do that. That's what he chose to do. You can whistle. You can go up and down with a whistle. You can make noises. You can go up and down with a hum. You can do all kinds of stuff. He decided to just go. No one could figure it out. Laughed as hard as I've ever laughed. Cranium was one of my all-time favorite games. In fact, I have it here at the house, and now I'm thinking about it. I want to play Cranium again.
There you go. So he was doing Morse code, huh?
He was doing Morse code with his mouth. There you go.
Very nice. I almost put Trivial Pursuit on there.
Oh, shut up.
I mean, I like trivia now.
I love
I'm not
I
good
love
at it,
trivia.
but
I
like
love trivia, and I feel like I'm a decent trivia person
Yeah.
until you go to these places where they do trivia at bars. Man, never felt so stupid in my life.
Yeah. I just did that a couple months ago. That happened to me. But I watched Jeopardy.
And then they do a sports one, and I'm like, oh, no, I got this.
Yep. I watched Jeopardy yesterday, and I got like 3 out of the first 4 questions I saw, and then not another one after that.
Nice. That sounds about right. You got the $200 questions, right?
Yes. $200 questions about like pop culture or
Yeah.
sports or something like that.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. So that brings us to the last segment of the day, which is it's got to be the best segment. It's got to be my favorite segment. This is the comedy segment. Adam, this week we did Bill Burr.
We sure did.
Bill Burr live at Red Rock. Such an awesome place. First off, can I say this for this? Did it seem like he was annoyed by how low and direct at him the spotlight was? Did you notice the spotlight was like 10 rows up, not like way up from the ceiling? He originally walks out and looks in the crowd. And he's like, oh my God, like that spotlight. They showed it a couple times on there. It was like 10 rows up. That's it.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Anyway. So I wrote a ton of stuff down for Uncle Bill.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Tell me about Uncle Bill.
What so I don't know. How do we usually do this? You wanna get it going? Like what did you think about Bill Burr?
You've got all the stuff down. You go for it.
I mean,
Take your drink and tell us about Uncle Bill.
so I mean, I don't know, half the stuff. The first thing I wrote down that I laughed at. First thing I laughed at is where he was talking. So he got right into the vaccines and into the corona. And Bill Burr does the best job maybe of anybody of playing both sides of everything. I absolutely love it. First off, I wrote it down somewhere. Oh yeah. So this is the perfect thing. So he said something about ladies being the smartest people in the world or something like that. And all the ladies clap. And he goes, ladies, you shouldn't be applauding that. You know, I'm an asshole. You know, this is going to end badly. That's my favorite. So that's kind of so the very first thing he's talking about how you got all these people and they're like, during the election, it's America, love it or leave it. And then all of a sudden they said, go get vaccinated. And I don't trust the government.
Yeah.
That was good. That was funny. The canceling of John Wayne, when he talked about how we canceled John Wayne and he's dead. And we're going back in stuff like, no, yep, that sounds exactly like what he would do. And Sean Connery. Oh, man.
Yeah. These guys were born in
1910. Yeah. And then the first hairy leg white chick shows up.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. I don't even know. I just wrote some goofy stuff. Oh, he talked about Coco Chanel, who was banging a Nazi or something like that. So that was nobody's canceled her. Nobody said anything about that. I don't know.
He went hard in on all the like most controversial social stuff.
Yes.
And like
played both sides of it.
He played both sides and even was, plenty aggressive about going against what like the kind of the new progressive way of thinking is.
Yep.
The
women's rights thing.
Women's rights
the like the WNBA, when he said that one of the people we had this same, as he's talking about this, I'm thinking we did this conversation with Joe Leonard about soccer. We did this conversation because he was talking about the same thing, that there was this woman, she was on ESPN with these other guys. She's a soccer player on the U.S. team, and she's complaining.
Megan Rapinoe, by the way.
Is that who he was talking about? I don't know.
Yes.
And she was complaining that men, or that women, make way less in all the sports than men do. And all the guys were like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I wonder. And he's like, I'm standing there like, this is the easiest answer in the world. And this is the same thing I said to Joe. Where's the money come from? Where's the money being spread from? Right? Where's the money coming? You can't pay somebody something you don't physically have. I cannot pay you money I don't have. If you're a WNBA player and you're the greatest WNBA player in the world and you're going to make $1 million this year, that you should be happy that you're making $1 million, right? Not saying, well, I should be making what Giannis Antetokounmpo is making. Well, the NBA brings in just a little bit more money than the WNBA does. The teams make just a little bit more money than you guys do. That's why they get paid more. It's that simple. Sorry. I just went back into it.
There are 200,000 people wearing Giannis Antetokounmpo jerseys right now.
There's 110 people
wearing
Sue
Burr
Burr.
jerseys. Yeah. Right.
Name 5 WNBA players right now. Do it.
Oh, I can.
I know you can. Do it.
Sue Bird.
Okay.
Elena Deladon.
All right.
Dejanay Carrington.
Okay.
Kelsey Plum.
Okay.
And you said 5?
Uh-huh.
I got it. Oh, Liz Cambage, or however you say that.
All right. So you can't even say the
who's
fifth one's
now
name.
leaving
Found
the
somebody?
LA Sparks.
All right. Now, name 5 NBA players.
Janice Antetokounmpo.
You suck.
Jokey.
Good luck. You play between
Jovic.
300 and 400 people a night. We literally gave you a league. He said we gave you a league, which is also true.
Yeah.
The NBA pays a ton into the WNBA. And who comes to show up? None of you. He's like, and none of you people show up. Guess what you guys are all doing? All you women are at home watching the Kardashians and what was the other one? Kardashians and Real Housewives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. I love that. It's, I mean, come on, people. Anyway, so good. This was a good one for me. I wrote a ton of stuff down. This is supposed to be an inspirational talk. Not sure if it's coming off that way.
Yeah, that was fun. That was funny.
Oh my gosh. And then he started talking about homeless people.
Yeah.
homeless people. Oh, it's not like in my day. Homeless people aren't like it was in my day. Somebody gets out, just come running over. Bunch of nurses come running over. Oh, this is a nice long sleeve shirt. Why are the sleeves so long? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Let's see here. I got some things I can't even read my own handwriting. Mother Nature procrastinating like a term paper. I don't even remember that part. Oh, when he was talking about his mustache and he gets like, he talked a lot about trying to be a better person and finding, who he is and different stuff like that. And he was talking about, he did a movie and he's talking about lesbians again. This was another topic like that. He had to grow a mustache. And he called it an orange Freddie Mercury dick broom on my face. And I left the F-bomb out of that. Oh my God. I thought that was so funny. That was so great. Oh man. For the love of God, stop getting in the trunk of the car. His abortion take at the end, oh my gosh, that was good.
Another thing he
When
went both ways with.
He was like, hey, I'm gonna tell you, I'm 100% your body, your choice. But when the other side comes over and like, yeah, but you're killing a baby. You are kind of doing that too. Yep, it's both ways. Yeah, you murdered a child. That's what you're doing. I love that. Yeah, 100%. Your body, your choice, girl. But yeah, I still kind of feel like you might be murdering a child still too. That was great, and he started. Then he was talking about cake, and he was like, "Oh well, it's not really cake yet because I mixed all the ingredients up and I put it in the oven, and you take it out of the oven and you throw it on the floor. Well, it wasn't really cake yet. Yeah, it would have been if you would have let the thing bake." Loved that take.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got written down. I laughed at a bunch more than that, but
it was funny. I laughed the whole way through. The only thing I wrote down, and this is he was talking about one of the things you just mentioned, but he was saying, and I know this lady. He ran into this lady on the street or something like that. Oh, it was the story about
the lesbian. They ran into each other's forearm. Yeah.
And he's like, how did I know that she was a lesbian? I knew. I just knew. It's the same way you know.
Same way you know.
He said, no, I know you're gonna say no, that's not fair. How do you know? You can't say. He's like, I'm gonna say a bunch of things and you picture them in your mind. Construction worker, sports fan, painter, skateboarder,
Lesbian.
See, you pictured it.
So good. Oh, I hope Bill Burr and guys like Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle never go away to keep us all in the norm. Like now, again, usually the loudest voices are not the same with politics. The loudest voices you hear are not the majority.
Sure.
Unfortunately, though, they are still the loudest voices that are heard. And that's how this whole thing goes. So,
yeah. Bit of a palate cleanser. It's if you're like super hard on an issue and you watch this and you can understand that it's a joke, but he's saying things that are a little true here and there and some stuff I'm sure he believes for real.
But here's the point is people, we got to sit back and see both sides of everything, right? If somebody's arguing something against you, that you can't just automatically be upset with them and tell them they're wrong and your way's the right way and that's the only way. Sit back for a second and go, oh, where is he coming from?
And be able to do it within the context of some comedy. Make it even better.
Then it's even that's as perfect as it gets.
So, your rank, Christopher Witt.
I laughed hard. I laughed a lot. I gave this pretty high. I gave it a
hold on. Before you say, I'm gonna write mine down.
Okay.
Okay.
4.6.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I went pretty high on that.
Pretty good.
I laughed consistently the entire time.
Yeah.
There was never a point in this that I wasn't laughing. That is a great comedy special for me. Was it belly laughing the whole time? No, but I laughed pretty hard most of the time. And it's because I think the older I get, the more into this, the more of these political things get on my nerves. So when you start getting into those things and play both sides, and when he gets the crowd to cheer when he says something,
no,
twice he had to tell him, stop. Do you not know how this works yet?
Yeah.
I love that he plays both sides. I just love every bit of it. That's the majority of people are like that. I think the majority of people look at things that way, and he can do it in a way. His cadence, his everything, his timing, everything is perfect. Bill Burr, this is one of the things that's like, okay, I always thought Bill Burr was one of my favorite comedians. He's definitely top 5, top 6.
Certainly. I have tickets to see Bill Burr live. Did I tell you that already?
No, yeah, you did tell me that. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
When is it?
If this doesn't make me sign in, I'll tell you. It's October, I think.
Nice.
In October. Anyway, October 1st, as a matter of fact.
There you
October 1st. All right. So there you go. There's Billy Burr.
Adam, what'd you give it?
I give it a 4.1.
Okay, we both are above a 4. That's a good comedy segment for you, or good comedy special for you guys to go out there and watch.
Sure is. So for next week, let's see. You have
I have
Mount
the
Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
and I'll have the comedy special. So let me pull up my list here.
Do you want me to start? Because I've got mine ready to go.
I would love that.
So I'm going to start off with this because I kind of want to go back to what we did with Michael Jackson. We took the King of Pop and we took one of the largest libraries of songs and made a Mount Rushmore out of it.
Yeah.
Adam, my grandma was one of the biggest Elvis Presley fans.
Mm-hmm.
I still to this day love listening to Elvis Presley. My Uncle Paul, as big Elvis Presley fan as there was. Elvis Presley sang a million songs. And some of them were songs that he got from other people, but he sang them.
Yeah,
still.
he stole them all from black people. Right.
Yeah,
It's well documented.
100%. But he still did them and made a ton of money and did them well. And Michael Jackson liked kids. Like we said before, sometimes genius comes with some.
Apparently Elvis liked hot dogs or something because he got real fat.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He died dropping a deuce on his toilet. So good for him.
I mean, one of the best ways you can go, really.
I don't know about that.
If he evacuated before he passed.
That's my thing. Did he get? Was he struggling and had something, a heart attack happen, or did he get it out and it was just like? That's the best feeling of the day when you get the bulk of it on that first wave. And
Sweet relief. Yeah.
Kale done. You know, good for him. I'm gonna do the Mount Rushmore of Elvis Presley songs.
Do you know where my idea came from to do the Michael Jackson one?
No idea.
Because originally my idea was to do the Mount Rushmore of Whitney Houston songs. But I figured, I know you know some Whitney Houston. I figured we both would know a lot of Michael Jackson. So I just figured that would be easier.
Nice.
But yeah, so we could go on for.
Yeah, I mean, Michael, this could
do a
go
lot
on
of-
forever. Right. Exactly. I mean, this is like you just got to find somebody that you know has a huge library of songs, which are just, the greatest of all time, and you're good to go.
I think all mine are just going to be the ones that I heard Paul sing the most.
There you go. There you go. I'll go burn love.
Yeah, that's number one. All right. So for a comedy special, there are so many,
Dude, like
that we
3 of
haven't-
them just came out, not to mention ones that we have not done yet that have been out all year.
One of the ones that I want to do from a comedian who I didn't during the pandemic, I started listening to all these comedy podcasts and getting really into stand up, like even more into stand up comedy than I ever was. But this guy, I didn't hear a lot from him during that time, but he just released a special. So obviously he's out there working. Kyle Kinane released a special 2 months ago, maybe
Really?
something like that.
I did not know that. I love Kyle Kinane.
Trampoline in a ditch.
That sounds like a Kyle Kinane special.
It's on YouTube.
On YouTube. Kyle Kinane, trampoline in a ditch. Oh my gosh, that's going to be good.
I'm excited. I am excited. Okay, so we have that. By the way, I need to give you a huge shout out. So it's the easiest thing on my way. I pass I pass probably 8 UDFs, but there's one that I'm comfortable going in after dark, closer to your house, All the ones by me just have heroin addicts around them.
Which one is it? Is it Rapid Run? Which way you come?
Rapid
Yeah,
Run.
that's where I ended up going. I went to the Rapid Run UDF.
We probably were coming from the same direction to
Yeah.
go to your house. So I stopped at that UDF, which is where I usually stop to get the Reese's unless I get them earlier in the day and put them in the freezer or whatever. But stopped there, pulled up in the parking spot, getting ready to get out, grab my stuff. I'm like, my wallet. Oh, hold on. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. My wallet's gone. That's a line from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I love the movie.
I
Once
can do
again,
deep
I'm
cuts
terrible.
from Pee-wee's
I'm
Big
not
Adventure
good
all
with
day long.
lots.
Anyway,
Can I ask you a question before you continue with this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you.
Mount Rushmore of Pee Wee Herman, Pee Wee's Big Adventure line.
Yeah. So I can't do movie lines because I'm terrible at that stuff. You could tell a movie and it might be my favorite movie ever, and I had no idea it was line. You went to you were talking about forgetting your wallet. You reached over towards your pocket like you were touching it.
Mm-hmm.
When you get out of your car, do you have specific pockets that your stuff goes into, or do you just kind of grab and go?
No, absolutely specific pockets.
So I go knife and keys in my left. I go phone in my right, wallet in the back. And I touch all three of those places every time I get out of a car. Every time I'm leaving the house, I pat all my places, pat them on the sides. I can tell if I've got if I got a key and a knife, phone, wallet. Sometimes I don't have keys because I'll take the van, or sometimes I don't have my knife, depending on where I'm going, just because you don't always carry a pocket knife. But I always pat for everything. I do the three-way pat.
So you go keys on the left, phone on the right.
I go keys on the left, phone on the right.
And your wallet is back right pocket?
Back right.
Every time.
Every single time.
Okay.
Where are you at?
Same with a wallet. So I go keys and knife right pocket. I go phone and grenade on the left pocket. And I go wallet and machete back right pocket.
So why do you keep your phone in your left pocket?
That's just where it goes. Because keys are in my right.
Yeah, but you use your phone more than your keys, and that's your dominant hand.
I don't know. Keys maybe
do you use your left? Are you a left thumbed phoner?
No. I mean,
So
if I'm holding something with my right, and I gotta do something quick.
You pull it out of your left pocket and transfer to the right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I sure do.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes I accidentally pull the grenade out instead, and and just toss it aside, and then pull my.
Careful! Don't just start tossing that thing.
Pins in it.
Then I guess it's okay.
I have no idea. I don't know how
it works either. Sometimes people throw them back at people. Sometimes they explode in the air. I have no idea how a grenade works.
Yeah.
Zero idea. It depends on what movie I'm watching, I guess. They land on contact. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Then they pick them up and throw them back. Is it like a 10-second runoff?
It's exactly what the hero needs it to be.
Yes, it is.
Every time.
Or what somebody didn't need it to be.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Well, we've got, so thank you. You bailed me out. I left my wallet at home. It's such a bare feeling when you leave one of your essentials at home. If I get pulled over on the way home here and I don't have my ID, I'm going straight to jail. And
I doubt that, but I'll tell you this though. That is one thing. So the wallet is the one thing that sometimes if I walking out of the house and I do the pat down, the wallet is not always the one that I'm most worried about. Because when I get into my truck, before I even get in, I grab my wallet out of my back pocket and throw it in the middle console, so as not to sit on said wallet and hurt my back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's much smaller now. The wallet's much smaller than it used to be.
So still much larger than a normal wallet, but much less, but much smaller than yours.
So I always take it out and throw it in the middle console. And there are times where when I get out of the truck, I forget to grab my wallet. I don't actually, you know what? I don't ever pat myself down getting out of the car. I do the pat down before I leave the house. And like if I'm leaving somewhere going to the car. But when I get out of the car, I don't do the pat down.
Huh.
So I'll leave my wallet in my truck all the time. So if I don't have my wallet, I'm like, it's probably in the truck. Wow, that's probably not smart to say. The millions of people.
Again, address is 3731 Elm Street.
Yeah, Super King Drive.
So it's off of Elm.
Off of Elm.
Actually on.
Yeah, technically. I mean, if you want to get technical with it. So, but no, I've done that before. I've left Okay, quick story.
Yeah.
I take people out to lunch all the time. I went to a lumberyard.
That's nice of you, by the way.
No, you're welcome. It's part of work. I don't know why you're welcome. I go to this lumberyard.
Take me out.
I'm talking to these guys inside there, and I'm like, all right, man, it's about lunchtime. Y'all want to go lunch? And they're like, yeah. Well, I'm the vendor. They're the customer. I'm expected to pay for lunch. I'm like, all right, cool. Where you guys want to go? And they say whatever. This place was a burger pub joint out in Westchester. And I'm like, cool. And they're like, all right, I'll drive. He goes, okay, I'll drive. And I was like, all right, cool. And I just walk out to his car, get in his car. We drive all the way to this place, and it's 5-10 minutes away. My wallet is in my truck.
Mhm.
I text dude at work, and I was like, here's the deal. My truck is unlocked. My wallet is in the middle. I need you to leave work, get my wallet, bring it over to this place. I see him drive up outside 15, 20 minutes later. And I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Go nowhere near the bathroom, walk straight outside, get my wallet. I come in, they're like, bathroom. And I was like, man, I was so embarrassed. I totally forgot my wallet in my truck. And I didn't know how to pay for this lunch. They got a couple beers, like stuff they probably wouldn't have got. I mean, it's a $60 lunch for 3 people. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like such an idiot. Yeah.
So you were trying to get around the embarrassment.
Yep.
But since you had to walk outside.
And then like usual, I just call myself, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I did what I did. Another one just a couple weeks ago, last week, I go into lunch with a guy and we walk in and there's another customer of mine in there from a different lumberyard. I walk in, God love him. He's an elder grad and he's one of my favorite people. And thank God he is. Walk in, sit down. I'm like, hey, we're sitting over here by these guys, and we have a conversation. You know, it's copacetic. They go against each other sometimes, but it's all good. Talking, everything's good. And these guys, they get their check and they get up and leave. And I'm talking to this old fellow that I brought to lunch with me. He's an old cat, you know, almost 70, probably in his mid 60s. He's been doing this for a long time. And I'm sitting there for a second, and I was like, oh my God, I should have bought their lunch. As like, that's what, you know, that's what I should have done. And he goes, I wasn't going to say nothing to you. He goes, actually, I was thinking about picking the check up myself, just make you look bad. And I was like, son of a gun. Within seconds, my phone goes off. Thanks for lunch. Exclamation point. I wrote back all kinds of, I hate you, you suck. You know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, so so many silly things.
Let me ask you about this though. So I'm thinking about, and I've been in this situation a couple of times. I'm thinking like, you know, it is 2022. There's got to be a way I can go in here and pay for this thing. I'm thinking about Apple Pay. I'm thinking about what do they take? What do they take in here that I could pay using my phone?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not comfortable or confident enough with that stuff yet to do it.
I was just going to say, that's my problem. When I text that dude, first thing he said was just see if they have Apple Pay, or he said Google Pay, Google something. And I was like, I don't have Android. And he was like, see if they have Apple Pay. And I was like, I have no idea how to set that up. I'm pretty sure I probably have to have a card to originally set this up or something. I can't just,
I think it links to your bank account or maybe,
but I have to be able to put my bank account information in, and I've never done it before. So I can't just,
on the spot. Yeah,
on the spot, I wouldn't have it. Yeah. I do have Apple Pay set up now. Don't know how to use it.
I think I may have used it once, but I don't really.
If I do it, it's on accident because I pressed a button too many times, and then Apple Pay pops up.
Yeah.
And asks me what I want to pay for. And I'm like, nothing. Don't walk by me. Nobody walk by me with some kind of scanner because my phone's trying to pay for something right now.
If everybody took like Venmo or Cash App or Zelle or something, I have all those.
Yeah.
I could do that too, but
I've only got one of those.
Yeah. I only really I've used Zelle a few times recently, but
what is the Zelle? Is the Zelle, is that like a Venmo?
That's it's usually like
what happened
more
to
your
PayPal?
People are still using PayPal.
I use PayPal all the time still.
Oh, do you?
I mean,
I never do. I mean,
I use PayPal with my brother-in-law or with, you know, my buddy for paying for a league or something like that. PayPal, but it seems like Venmo is what I use the most now. Venmo seems to be the one that is used the most.
Yeah.
But what is Zelle? Just another Venmo?
Kind of. Banks seem to latch onto that one. Like, I can go on to my bank app and it'll say transfer money to somebody through Zelle.
Like, so you can do it through the bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Ultimately, it's all through the bank because your bank is gonna your account number or whatever.
The thing I don't like about PayPal is not PayPal. PayPal is awesome. I love PayPal. I wish PayPal was
you
the
heard
greatest.
of PayPal. Thanks
100%.
for listening, by the way.
Definitely.
Chris.
But the Venmo, like if somebody Venmos me money and I've got like, I don't know, let's say I have $300 in my Venmo from all kinds of stuff and I need to Venmo you, it won't take it out of the money I already got in Venmo. I have to deposit that into my bank account. I can't pay with it. PayPal, if I've got a couple $100 in PayPal and somebody's like, and I'm like, oh dude, I owe you for this. Can I just shoot you the money through PayPal? And they're like, yeah. I hit it and they go, do you want to use this from your PayPal? Yes, that's the money I want to use. Nothing happens in my bank account. I don't have to worry about it. Now, if this is incorrect and you've actually listened to this podcast for an hour and 40 minutes and you can tell me that I'm doing Venmo wrong, please let me know. I feel like I'm not in electronics. I'm not not up on the times with all that. But when I do have something, I can figure out how to use it. I'm not an idiot. I can do it. That's why I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Look, you're playing chess. Everybody else is playing checkers.
Well done. Great timing. Well done.
Thanks.
I feel like that should be the end of this. Chess and checkers. Adam, Kyle Kinane, next week. Not next week. Who knows when? We'll figure it out.
Yeah. September.
We'll see you sometime. Fall ball starts in September.
Hey.
Baseball coming back. Basketball. When do you guys start?
September.
Yes, that's so great. Man, are you excited? It's a month away.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Cuts are done. You don't have to cut anybody.
No. It's so we'll go back to drills and skills for a month and a half or something, and then tryouts in October, middle to end of October.
You got a pretty good idea. I mean, you had quite a few girls come out though, right? For freshman girls come out that aren't even freshmen. 8th grade girls coming to your drills and skills stuff.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good turnout. So yeah, I have an idea about.
You may have to cut some kids this year.
Possibly. It depends. On who's all playing other sports that hasn't been coming.
Yeah.
It's going to depend on that. So, but I've got an idea about at least a few kids that are probably going to be on the team.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. And one or two that definitely aren't.
Definitely aren't. Yeah, but they show up every week.
Unless I end up with 12 kids that show up
together. Yeah, exactly.
Then we'll probably keep them.
All right. Well, in that case, we'll do Kyle Kinane and we'll do Elvis Presley's Mount Rushmore of songs.
The King.
Until next week. Don't forget to turn your headlights on.